Hello and welcome to another stream with me, Christian Rauchwald, on this beautiful Friday. I hope you can all hear me. This today is a short notice special stream where we are going to cover highs, what's it called, Super League, an event that only happens this weekend. So basically it's your chance to win a share of 1.48 million high or completely altogether 1.5 million high. And yeah. So that's the purpose of today's stream. So I'm going to try to explain the conditions, how you can participate, what you have to do, and how the winners will be chosen, as well as how much people can and will get if they're among the winners. And yeah, before we get to that, Hot Cold asks a reasonable question. When will the high dollar price go up? Now, I've made a live this Tuesday, so if you go to my channel and you check the latest videos and lives, you will see there is a Let's Talk About High Dollar that was this Tuesday, and there we actually covered the topic in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes in the beginning of the stream, so that's gonna be the way for you to figure out the long answer. The short answer is as long as there are discounted purchases in the app, so as long as you can buy it with a 1 or 4 year lockup with a discount, the price will likely not go up, because as long as that's possible, it means that purchases don't happen on the market, where every person that sells right now actually has to sell on the market, which means the price is basically artificially suppressed right now, because whenever you buy high, you obviously buy it with the 30% discount. But if you want to sell some of your high, you have to withdraw it from high and you sell it on an exchange or on PancakeSwap or Uniswap and so on, which means every time you sell, it actually helps to drive down the price, but every time you buy, it just happens in the app. And yeah, if you're wondering when that pool or those discounted purchases will be discontinued, the answer is actually quite simple. 27 or 28% of the entire supply are reserved for incentives like the 1 year and 4 year discount. Last time I checked, we already used up 30% or so of that 27, 28%. So there's still some room to go or some way to go before we use up the rest. And once that happens, there will be no more discount when you buy high. And when you then want to buy it, you also have to buy it on the market, which means then every purchase will bring up the price. And then yeah, in combination with the new features like the upcoming high debit cards, which are one of the reasons for the current high Super League competition that we're going to cover in this stream, are then going to bring more people to buy high and especially stake high, so hold it for a longer period of time, so they keep having the benefits of the debit cards or other membership perks, and that will then drive up the price. I'm not going to speculate as to which price is possible, but you can look at the historical chart and you will see that high already was at $1.40 per high, so I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be able to get there again. And yeah, like holding long highs on the market for a little bit more than a year, that has nothing to do with holding long. So if you think like holding an investment for 13 months, 14 months is a long time, then sorry, but you haven't been investing, you've been gambling so far, and you just, yeah, like, yeah, all I can say about that. But as I said, today's stream is not about the price of high or stuff like that, but it's specifically about the high Super League event this weekend. So that happens on Saturday and Sunday. To cover that, I'm actually gonna share my screen here real quick. That should be here, and you should be able to see that, which basically, that table here covers all the conditions of the high Super League event. Yeah, so the way it works, it's actually quite straightforward. As mentioned, it runs on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure which time zone, so if you want to be on the safe side, kind of like use Sunday morning for whatever you want to do in the event, yeah. So you don't end up performing the actions too early on Saturday and they might not count because they high might use the Hong Kong time zone or UTC and so on. So definitely I would recommend whatever actions you plan to perform to collect points, which we cover in a second as well, that you do them on Sunday morning or Saturday evening, so that you're definitely in the time window for the whole competition. Now, overall, as mentioned, let's start with what there is to win. High is giving away 1.5 million high in total, and they are split up among the first 5,000 users. And as we can see here on the right, the first 5,000 users get a total of 1.48 million high. and where the first person wins 100,000 high, then second to fifth, 50,000 high each, sixth to 10th, 20,000 high, 11th to 50th, 10,000 high, 51st to 100th, 2,000 high each, 101st to 200th, 1,000 high each, and from place number 201 to 5,100 high each. Now, the price for space, or the price for placing among the 200 to 5,000 is obviously not that high. 100 high right now is like getting $5, but it's still an additional incentive. And on top of that, as we can see here in the smaller text, there is a participation prize, so there will be randomly selected non-winners, so people that don't make it into the top 5,000, and they will get a share of 20,000 high. Unfortunately, it does not mention how many there will be, so it could be that if 10,000 people participate, then 5,000 win according to the table up here, and all the other 5,000 split the 20,000 high, which would mean each person would get 4 high, not that much. It's also possible that they will just pick, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 winners randomly out of all the people that participated, so that performed one of the actions that we're going to cover in a second, but did not make it in the top 5,000, and they will then get a share. Either way, considering that high is relatively small still. I mean, the overall user base is 3 million, but out of those, only around, I think it's like 800 to 900,000, maybe by now 1 million that are KYC verified. And out of those right now, because right now High doesn't have a lot for you to do, because they're still developing a lot of the features, like they recently just launched their trading in the app, which is not yet polished. They integrated their IBAN accounts, which is also not something that you will use daily. And obviously a lot of people, like me included, are waiting for the High debit cards. So while there might be around 1 million KYC verified users already, only a fraction of them are actually actively following the project, because most of them are waiting for the debit cards or for some other bigger feature, which means I personally think that there is a decent chance of winning something. Now, this is also the point where I have to point out, as usual, whatever I'm sharing in this live stream is obviously my personal opinion. It's in no way financial advice or professional advice of any other kind. You should always do your own research, like consult professionals, make your own conclusions, and especially, or come to your own conclusions and make your own decisions. Now, that said, how can you actually win anything? So, as mentioned earlier, the contest is from Saturday to Sunday. So, Sunday evening or Sunday morning would be the best time to perform the actions that are outlined on the left to collect points. Now, where's my mouse? Okay, it's here. And the actions that you can perform, if you haven't done so, are you can complete your KYC verification. If you did not do that yet, you would get 1 point for completing your KYC verification. It's a quite straightforward process, and it's actually needed for you to be able to withdraw anything in the future, and also, for example, to unlock your rewards and some other stuff as well. Additionally to that, not a super fan of that action, but in many countries, not all countries, so for example in the US it's not possible, Germany it's not possible, in a couple other countries it's not possible, you can go to high.casino.io and basically just make a minimum bet. So personally, because I'm currently in Germany, I cannot do that, so I cannot tell you how much the minimum bet is, if you can already, in quotes, gamble with 1 high, or if it's 10 high. If you're in a country where that is possible, you will see that when you go to highcasino.io, you can log in with your High account, and then you should be able to see how much you would have to pay minimum on a bet or whatever other gambling features they have there, and decide for yourself if it's worth it or not. So personally, if I could do something in the High Casino for 1 or maybe 5 high, I personally would do it to get the additional 2 points here. And but if you are like me, you're living in Germany, so you cannot even use the High Casino, then well, you skip that. Or if the minimum bet is 50 high or 100 high or so, then I personally also wouldn't do it, but that's obviously up for you to decide yourself. Besides that, the next action that gets you points, so if you do the ID verification and you place a minimum bet, you would already have 3 points. The next action, however, is easier. In the High app, as mentioned, they just recently launched their trader mode, so where you can exchange cryptocurrency for USDT and vice versa. So like Bitcoin, BUSD, and so on. And they actually just added another couple of supported cryptocurrencies, and all you have to do is make one trade. So the smallest amount possible, just exchange something to USDT or use a small amount of USDT to buy, I don't know, like Bitcoin or BUSD or whatever is supported. So just the smallest trade possible will get you another 3 points for theoretically a total of 6 points so far if you're able to use the high casino, or 4 points if you are not able to use the high casino. And moving on, the next action, obviously like the previous one, so as you noticed already, the points increase. The next action would be to stake something. And if you were to stake high, for example, the minimum period would be 180 days, so 6 months. But depending on your membership level, you would also get up to 52% interest on that staking, which in my opinion is highly profitable. And that would get you basically 4 points on top. So you would already be at 10 points total, which personally, I mean, I've been lately staking mostly into the high gigapools because the APY there is even higher. But over the weekend, I will actually also stake something. As mentioned, the minimum amount is 50 high. So if you stake $2.50 at the current price, it actually already counts, and you would get those additional 4 points. Last but not least, the last action on the list that you can perform on your own would be buy 100 high. So if you go into the app and you buy $5 worth of high, or actually with a 1-year vault lockup, so it's $3.50 worth of high, you get an additional 5 points. If you do all of that, as you can see below, you reach the maximum base score of 15 points. So if you complete your ID verification, if you haven't done that, make a bet in the casino if it's supported in your country, and the minimum bet is a reasonably small amount. Don't start gambling away all your crypto for that. Make a minimum trade in the high app, so also not a big deal. Stake 50 high, buy 100 high. So I would say for around, I don't know, if we sum all of that up, might be, so here it's $2.50 in high that you need, here you need $3.50, so that's for a total of $6 investment. You already get 9 points, and if you then do the trading, betting, and the ID verification, you would get the other 6 points. Obviously, if you already passed KYZ, you cannot do that. If you already, or if you're in a country that is not supported by the casino, you cannot do that. So you would look at a maximum of 12 points. For, as we said, $6 investment to get a couple more high and stake 50 high and make a trade. So that's basically the first part of it. Obviously also, it wouldn't work very well because there would be a bunch of people that reach the 15 points, and other people like me that already passed KYZ would only reach 14, and then people also like me that cannot use the casino would only reach, 12 points. And therefore chances of making it in the top 5,000 would be slimmer. Now, on top of all of that, the first thing to mention, there are boosters. So depending on, and that's then something that's not for everyday users, to be fair, but it's really more about people that are trading a lot, long-term investors, or that right now, for example, if you just discovered high and you wanna basically, I don't know, for example, you decide that you want to go for the high platinum membership that requires 1 million high, and so you want to go ahead and buy $50,000 worth of high, or $35,000 with the 1-year discount, well, then you would have a high chance of coming into the top 5 members based on the high purchase amount. And the way these boosters work, so let's say you have 10 points total because you completed the tasks to get 10 points. So like, for example, you staked any asset, but it can also be high. Excludes high, sorry, my mistake here. So you have to stake something other than high. Totally overlooked that, which means there it would require you either to trade something else, so USDT to get BUSD, BTC, whatever is supported in staking, or to deposit something, which makes this point actually harder for many users if you don't have some other crypto available. Might mean that many users won't reach the, let's say 9 points or 12 points, but will be a little lower. Still, going to the boosters, so there is one for betting volume. So whoever gambles the most in the high casino, the top 5 users that gamble the most will get a 2 times multiplier. So if they have 10 points, they will then actually be 10 base points. They would actually then have 20 points because it's multiplied by 2. The top 5 users based on trading volume, so whoever trades the most in the high app will get also a 2 times multiplier. So again, if they manage to accumulate 10 base points, they would then have 20 points. The top 5 people based on staking, as said, it excludes high dollar, which is a pity, but whoever stakes the most US dollar value worth of crypto will get another 2 times multiplier. Again, that applies to the top 5 people based on the amount, and the top 5 people that purchase the most high during the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, will get another 2 times multiplier. The only thing important there to mention, I think it's, maybe somebody watching right now is actually, as I said, looking to upgrade to a higher tier, or to average down a lot, or enjoys trading a lot, or I don't know, has a gambling addiction and wants to bet away his house. So maybe there is somebody with a chance to make it in the top 5, not sure. But important to point out here is that each member can only get one of those boosts. So if you would be number 1 betting, trading, staking, and buying, you would still only get 1 2 times multiplier, which means there will be a total of 25 people that will get that 2 times multiplier, and by definition will already have then more points than most other users, which means they would then be in the, if we only consider the boosters, they would then be basically already in the first 4 categories, so the spaces from 1 to 20 or 1 to 50, and would already take away a huge portion. So basically, whoever contributes the most to the high ecosystem will likely get the biggest boosters from the top 5 multipliers or top 5 boosters. So, and in addition to that, there is also multipliers based on your direct referrals. Yeah. So if you invited some friends of yours, you should tell them about, hey, get your KYC verification done if they haven't already, so they get at least 1 point, and if they don't do anything else, they have a chance to at least win a share of the randomly distributed 20,000 high. Might not be much and might not be a big chance, but it's kind of like something they anyway should do, and on top of that, they get a reasonable chance of getting some high on top. Yeah. Or if they have locked rewards and they haven't staked anything, then maybe motivate them and tell them, okay, hey, why don't you go ahead and invest the $3.50 to get the 100 high, so your rewards start to unlock, and on top of that you get the 5 points here, which gives you again a decent chance to get the a share of the randomly selected 20,000 high that are distributed. And for you, if they complete the ID verification, you get a 1.10 multiplier. So if you have 10 points on your own, you would then have basically 11 points. Yeah. If an indirect referral, so second level, passes the KYC verification, you get a 1.01 multiplier. So if you have 10 points on your own, you would then have 10.1 points. And the same, the multipliers keep increasing. If your friends basically bet on the high casino, if one friend makes one bet, you get a 20% multiplier, so 10 points turn into 12 points. If the same friend makes multiple bets, you still only get 1.2 multiplier. If a friend makes a trade in the high app, you get a 30% multiplier or 30% on top. So if you have 5 friends invited and 5 of them basically make one trade in the app, each of them would get the 3 points for their base points score. Yeah, and you would get, let's say you have 10 points, then plus 30% would be 13 points, and then plus another 13% would be 16 point something points, 19 points, 19 point something, 22 point something. So if you have a few friends and they just complete their base scores, then you actually already look about or easily should be able to reach more than 20 points and be probably in the run for some of the top 5,000 positions. The same continues if your friends stake something excluding high. So that was not, that's something I overlooked. I'm sorry for that, as mentioned earlier. So if they stake Bitcoin, Ethereum, or anything else in the high app, but it's fixed term staking, so the Ethereum and USDT flexible staking, where you just have to deposit and you can withdraw at any time, is not included here. Gives you a 40% multiplier, so 10 points turn into 14. If your friend buys 100 high with a 1 year lockup, you get 50%, so 10 points turn into 15. And out of all direct referrals, if basically your direct referrals combined have the highest volume of betting, or highest volume of trading, or highest volume of staking, or highest volume or amount of high purchased, you can see that there are other multipliers that go up to 90%. And all those multipliers obviously stack. So if you get, again, let's say 10 points, and you have 10 friends that complete the ID verification, it would mean that it's multiplied 10 times by 1.1. So you would already look at, I don't know, like I'm very bad at doing math in my head, but it's probably already then more than 20. If then 10 of your friends also make a trade, those 20 would then be multiplied times 1.3, times 1.3, times 1.3, and so on. And so on. So it goes really fast. Now I understand, I'm going to be perfectly honest here, I understand that like people like me and Irina and so on, so like we who promoted high actively and have a lot of referrals, we obviously have the best chance to reach the bigger price pots here. I totally get that. It's something, I mean, while I'm obviously happy when we get crypto, it's something I actually don't like about most companies out there, is that promotions are always leaning towards rewarding people that are already doing well, and not so much rewarding or bigger rewards usually go to people that are already doing well. So you might not believe me, but it's actually something I personally dislike about most companies, because it provides less incentive for smaller users to actually get more active. But the point with high, on the other hand, is that there are not many people promoting it. So like, for example, we have a high creators Telegram channel where the bigger high creators, so that create content actively about high and promote it, are active. And that group has only a handful of members. And that's like an international group. So it's not like just a group for English speakers or so. It's literally an international group with people from the Philippines, people from Sweden, people us here from Germany, and so on. And so considering that there are only a handful of content creators that really focus on promoting high, I think that even average users, in quotes, with only, I don't know, 5 referrals, 10 referrals, and so on, so those that don't run a, in quotes, full-time business in reviewing crypto projects and stuff like that, or have their own YouTube channel, but really those that just like, I don't know, like, got their referrals by talking to their friends, or got their referrals by posting on some social media platforms and so on. I think that all those users also have a decent chance to make it at least in the top 100. Now, I might be wrong, and there might be a lot of people that are not part of the official creators group, but that are still promoting the shit out of high. But it's just the way I see it, that this is actually a promotion where even the average user, in my opinion, has a decent shot in actually making it to the top 100, which means to get basically 2,000 to maybe 10,000 high in rewards just for performing a few simple actions. Now, obviously, you shouldn't burn your cash and so on, like never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Yeah, definitely. But you should also consider, like, take a look how many high do you have now. So I think there are 2 situations where you can benefit from the current weekend very well. So take a look at how many high you have right now, and then check out the high memberships. So high.com, and somewhere there is then products membership. So you can also find it in the menu. So if you go to products and then to memberships, and so check how many high you have, and check out how much you're missing for a membership level that you would like to get. Maybe you have already, like, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 high, but you might want to consider going for the 1000 high for high black, because with high black, once the high debit card launch, which actually is supposed to happen, I mean, I'm not gonna promise it, but last I heard, we were talking about first week of October, and they will launch first in Europe. So if you're in Europe, you already have like 200, 300, 400 high, then this weekend might be a nice chance for you to actually upgrade to high black, so get the missing couple hundred, so that then basically when the cards launch, you already can get the debit cards and pick one perk. Plus, if I remember it right, the black card has 3% cashback. So that would be a potential reason to now already upgrade. Or if you don't have any high right now, but you anyway believe in the project, you want to get the cards and so on in the future, and you want to go for a bigger staking, then this weekend is basically a chance to, in quotes here, get it done, because you might have, if you go for a bigger investment, you might make it into the top 5 with the biggest purchase amount, with a 2 times multiplier, which might get you a reasonable amount on top of what you bought, yeah. And the second option, where I personally would consider participating in the event, would be maybe like me. I bought my first high when it was, I don't know, at 90 cents or so. Yeah. So obviously, if you bought $10 worth of high at 90 cents, you got like 10 high, more or less. Yeah. A little bit more. And now those 10 high are worth like 50 cents. So obviously, you have a huge gap. But on the other hand, right now, if you average down, so if you right now say, okay, I don't have a calculator here. I'm going to do that on the other screen. So let's say you bought asset or let's use a reasonable bigger number. So let's say you bought 100 high at 90 cents per high, which means you invested $90, but those are now only, for that you got 111 high that are now worth $5, yeah, which is obviously horrible because you would need to wait a long time, worst case, to basically get back into profit. Now, however, if you right now would double your investment, I'm just saying, I mean, obviously never invest money that you cannot afford to lose, and only invest if you believe in the project long term. Yeah, I'm just providing you with a reason why this weekend might be a good chance to do that. So if you now would basically say, okay, you're gonna get another $100 worth of high, which would be usually basically now $5. But since there is the 1 year lockup discount, $100 worth of high. So usually you would get 2,000 high, but with the 1 year lockup discount, you would actually get around 2,850 high. Yeah, which means initially you bought 100 high at 90 cents, or 111 high at 90 cents, so $100. And if you now were to double that investment, you would have spent $200. Plus 111. So you would have spent $200, but you would have almost 3,000 high. So basically, your average that used to be then at 90 cents, because originally you bought at 90 cents, would then be down at 6.7 cents or so, if I did the math correctly, because you basically got 28 times the amount that you got initially, and which means high doesn't have to go up that much anymore for you to become profitable again. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. So cost averaging, basically while the price falls and you keep investing on recurring basis, usually you buy the lower average price, which means you don't have to wait for the price to go all the way back up where you originally bought, but it's already okay if it only makes it partially up and you're already back at break even or in profit. Yeah. And obviously this weekend, so again, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning is the perfect time to do that, because as we see, you would get the points for, now where's my mouse again? So you would get the points for the buying of at least 100 high, so 5 points for that. And depending on how much you buy, you would have a chance on the 2 times multiplier. And again, on top of that, as said, if you have friends that you invited to high, so if you have a couple of referrals, tell them about the Super League event. Worst case, again, like just get them to complete their KYC verification if they haven't. With that, they get at least 1 point. And with that, they have at least a chance to win a part of the 20,000 high that will be distributed randomly. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now I will give all of you the chance to, I'm going to wait a minute for the video to catch up, because usually the stream gets a little bit delayed. And now would then be your chance, just have to switch back, to basically ask any questions about high Super League. So basically anything that's unclear, anything that you still want to know, now is the time to ask, so you get your answers. And yeah, or do my best to answer them. And in the meantime, while I wait for you guys to catch up with the video, I'm gonna quickly check the chat. Yeah, we already had that, so that I answered in the chat. Okay. Blah blah blah. Hi Emma Investor. Hi Felix Newfing TV. Hi George. Yeah, I cannot pronounce that. And hi, I think it's Yushao Halilu. Yushao Halilu. Hi, yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining the stream. I know it's been a lot of information in the last 30 minutes, but as said, I wanted to explain it as good as possible and as many details as possible. Also a reminder, we had a live stream on Tuesday about high dollar, where it basically was like a Q&A talking about some things like why the price of high dollar is falling, like if there are any red flags with the high dollar project, when the debit cards are coming, and so on. So like other stuff went on for, I don't know, 40 minutes, 50 minutes or so. You can find it on the channel page. So if you go to my channel and go to uploads, there should be, if you order them then based on, like latest first, you should see from Tuesday the live stream. So if you're curious about why the price of high dollar is so low and when to expect it to go up again, then that stream would be worth checking out, because there I think the first 10 minutes or so I talk pretty much only about that and explain why, at least in my opinion, high's price is behaving like it is. And yeah, well, in general, if you want to know more about high, I think we covered a lot of things there in that stream on Tuesday, so definitely you should check it out. And other than that, so anybody has any questions about the high Super League event, or are you all like fully caught up, know what's going on, and do you already plan? Like, even if you don't have questions, like, then let me know in the chat which actions do you personally plan to do. So did you already pass KYZ, so you cannot do that anymore, or did you not complete the KYZ verification so far and you're like thinking, okay, cool, this weekend I will get it done, so I have a chance to get a share of the 20,000 high at least? Or are you planning to stake some crypto, or, which in my opinion is not a bad idea as well, yeah? But there I want to throw in, it's kind of like High is currently offering one of the highest interest rates for staking on the market, which on one hand is nice, but on the other hand is also, shooting themselves in their own foot, because there have been obviously so many crypto companies like, Voyager, BlockFi, and so on, that either already declared bankruptcy or restricted withdrawals and so on, that people are now scared of, like companies that offer higher interest rates. And which it's actually a pity, because High's offer is relatively or quite solid, and unlike those other companies, for High it's actually an advantage in my opinion that they're relatively new on the market, because the other companies are already longer on the market and so on, and they had to deal with the market crash, yeah. Whereas High still has a relatively big amount of their own supply, and especially as mentioned, 27 or 28% of the supply are for discounted purchases, so to buy with a 1 or 4 year lockup, where basically when you buy, the money goes to High because they sell it to you from that supply, which means while other companies had to struggle and some of them went bust, High actually still has the financial reserves and especially the crypto supply to sell, to not run into that issue, yeah, which for me personally is like a good aspect, yeah. And especially if, I know the cards already were supposed to launch a little bit earlier, a few weeks ago, but I also understand that there are some delays and so on with projects like this. And however, especially with the launch of the card, so fingers crossed that it actually will be first week of October. As I said, cannot promise that, but that's the last thing I heard was aimed for. And with that, there would obviously be a lot of people that would switch from Bluetooth or Crypto.com, or that use the Binance card or Nexus card or Coinbase card, simply because High offers higher cashback and more perks, yeah. And which means that once the cards launch, even though it will initially be only within Europe and UK, there will be a lot of people that will basically rush to buy up more High, that will rush to, where am I now? So cards that will rush to maybe even go, I don't know, how much would be 100,000 High would be $5,000 right now, yeah. So I think there will be definitely a lot of people that will go for the 100,000 High. While $5,000 is a decent amount of money for most people, there have been already a reasonable amount of people at Crypto.com that staked $400,000 worth of CRO to get 8% cashback, and at High they will get the same for staking 100,000 High, so for 1% of that staking amount that they needed at Crypto.com. And there will also be a couple of people, especially those people that staked 400,000 at Crypto.com to get the 8% cashback that they used to offer in the past. at high right now, it would actually, if we consider the 1 year discount, it would require $350,000 worth of high. So even less than what they were willing to invest in crypto.com to get 10% cash back and like 15 perks or so. So I think like once the cards come and are actually users start to share their experience with them and the cashback they get, I think it's better, or it will help to get rid of the incentive supply. So to get rid of the 1 year discount, 4 year discount option, which will then mean from that point forward, the price should actually go upwards. Yeah. Now, Hot Cold says he plans to buy and stake. Definitely a good idea. However, keep in mind, I made the mistake initially. I said that you can stake 50 high. I overlooked it's like staking excluding high. So you would have to stake something else. But definitely good idea. I also plan to make a trade in the app. Like I will just sell whatever, like I have some Litecoin or so in the high app. So we'll just sell minimum amount of that. And I luckily set up one of the high IBAN accounts when they launched it, and there's going to be a video about it soon as well, and deposited €100 worth of euro to high. So I will probably use that to buy a little bit more high, and and then stake my remaining Litecoin or so for a total of, what's that then, like 12 points. I already passed KYZ, so cannot do that, and I cannot use the high casino, so that's as good as it gets. I don't plan to buy a huge amount of high because I already bought a lot. So when crypto.com changed their card cashback and ruined it, I sold all of our crypto.com coins at 30 cents or so back then, which was a good decision because last I checked it was at 12 cents, so it fell even further by like 60%. And back then I didn't know what to do with it. High was the most promising project around the block, so I used all of that basically to buy more high and stake it. So yeah, not planning to invest more into high, simply because we already, right now our wallet is a little bit imbalanced. So it's like so our wallet or crypto holdings are right now like 95% high dollar, which is something, well, I believe in the project and it has great potential, but next year, once our stakings expire, I will start to shift things to distribute it a little bit better, because you should never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. That you obviously already know, but you should also never put all your eggs in one basket. Never. Yeah, like if you put all your money into one project, one cryptocurrency, yes, you could get lucky and it could, I don't know, multiply 10 times, 20 times or whatever. But if you don't get lucky and the project busts or something else happens, you just lost everything. Yeah. So you should always consider that you distribute things a little bit. You don't have to distribute it in 20 different projects or stocks or cryptocurrencies or whatever. But yeah, like personally, I would never, or I try to never put everything in one basket. So while right now our crypto stuff is very high heavy, thankfully we also have investments in stocks and ETFs and other stuff. So that it balances it out, that I'm not too worried. And even if high would go bust, it would hurt financially, but it would be kind of like, it would not wipe out all of our investments because we're also invested in other areas. And in my opinion, you should do the same. Yeah, like, I mean, obviously, depends also on your situation in life. If you're single and you're young and maybe you still live with your parents, well, then you can gamble. Yeah, if you lose all your money while you're still young, you can make it back. Yeah, if you have, I don't know, wife and kids and a mortgage to pay, then, well, probably you shouldn't gamble. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that much about that. Now that we have that, it's better issuing high staking returns than issuing high dollars on free rewards. Yes and no, like, I mean, I think high dollars, it's actually interesting, and that's the last thing I'm going to answer because then we already go towards 45 minutes and that life starts to get too long. When high dollar started and they made the offer with the free rewards, it was actually a great idea. And especially considering their roadmap. I mean, even a year ago when they launched, they already said, okay, we're going to have debit cards, we're going to have staking, we're going to have eventually stock investments, bank accounts and everything. Yeah. So you would think about basically that people, I get my free rewards, but I will also buy some because I want to get the higher membership tier and so on. They already had the membership tiers with free access to Blinkist and and masterclass.com. Yeah. So instead of giving, and on one hand, I love that on the other hand, it was maybe a dumb decision because, you know, like other things like crypto.com gives you a free Netflix subscription so that you can basically waste time on your couch and watch stupid TV shows. So yeah, Hi.com actually gave you a masterclass.com subscription so you can watch courses by some of the top people in their field that teach you how to, I don't know, become a photographer, become a video editor, become better, or a professional poker player, and so on. Yeah, so they actually gave you a reward that if you use it can help you to make more money, become more successful, yeah, like get better at a hobby that you have, and so on. So on one hand I like it, but I know most people are just looking for entertainment, yeah. The same with the Blinkist membership, yeah. Most people don't like to read. I personally love to read. I used to read basically one book about like business and stuff like that, or marketing, and then one fantasy book. But to be fair, over the last year or so, 1.5 years, I actually switched and I mostly read fantasy. I checked a couple weeks ago, and last year alone I read over 200 books. Yeah, I enjoy that. For me, it's like in the evening before when I go to bed. And I usually am still thinking about our software business or about this, about that, and so on. And then I cannot fall asleep. So I then read some fantasy book, a couple chapters to get my mind off that. So it's like better than watching a movie, because when you read something, your imagination actually paints the picture. So it's, I don't know, it's like way better than most movies or TV shows. And yeah, and then I fall asleep. Yeah. And so like Blinkist, great thing. I mean, they obviously are more like educational books. But it's also, instead of reading the entire book, you get like a 15-minute summary. So you can read some of the best books, like, I don't know, Think and Grow Rich, or Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or The Richest Man of Babylon. I'm not sure if all of them are on Blinkist, but you, instead of having to read the whole book and spending days reading it, you can read it in 15 minutes. So, by the way, if you think about getting more high, one other aspect that you should consider, especially, so first of all, you have to check the membership levels. I don't remember from the top of my head at which point you get Blinkist and masterclass.com, yeah. But if you, for example, would like masterclass.com, then staking the amount that you have to stake for whatever, like let's say $50 worth of high for masterclass.com, it's a one-time investment, and after 6 months you can unstake, and during the time you get interest, and you get free access to masterclass.com. Whereas as an alternative, if you wanted to use masterclass.com, you would have to pay a monthly subscription and the money would disappear. Yeah. The same with Blinkist. And once the high debit cards launch, there will be benefits. I mean, they are not 100% specified yet, but I assume based on the competitors that there will be a benefit or a perk. Okay, High Dollar will refund you $10 worth of Netflix per month. So you can get your Netflix subscription you paid with the High card, and you get then $10 refunded in High as a like cashback, yeah, which means basically Netflix will be then for free for you, or Amazon Prime or Spotify and stuff like that. So in my opinion, getting high now while it's still cheap to reach a membership level where you get, I don't know, 1, 3, 5 perks makes sense, because even high might even drop in value from 5 cents to 1 cent, yeah. Doesn't really matter. If you look forward to the cards and the perks, then you basically will be able to get your Spotify subscription, Netflix subscription, and some other perks, yeah? And you will not have to pay monthly for them. I mean, you will pay from your card, but you will instantly get it back in high as cashback. So which means, while you have some amount locked up as investment, and that might increase in value, might fall in value, you get interest on top, which is nice. But on the other hand, every month when you then pay for, as said, Netflix, Spotify, whatever other perks that suit you and will be available, you will actually get it back in high, and it might go to high rewards and then only become available in a month or something like that. We will see the details once we get there in hopefully first week of October, but you will get it back, and you will then be able to just sell it again for euro, US dollars, British pound, whatever, which means you basically will get those subscriptions for free. So, and if you think about Netflix, if Netflix costs you $10 per month, or any other subscription, $10 per month, getting it back means you save $120 per year. Yeah. Now, if you have 3-4 subscriptions, that's $400-500 per year that you will have more, because you get it back through the perks of the cards. And all you have to do to get that would be to have the membership level that's high enough that you can select enough perks. Yeah. Again, so definitely check out the high membership section on the website and look at the high card section. You see how many perks are available for each membership tier. And then use that and maybe think about, ask yourself, would you really get a benefit out of it? And if so, does it make sense right now while the value is relatively low with 5 cents per high, or if you buy it with a lockup 3.5 cents per high, to just make a bigger purchase to already have that membership level and problem solved? And if so, this weekend would be the perfect time to do it, because depending on the amount you go for, as I said, you might also get the 2 times multiplier for being among the top 5 people that bought high. I mean, chances are not too high for that, depending on how much you plan to buy. But yeah, it's still something I would consider, yeah. Anyway, so since there are no more questions, I guess we're gonna quickly look at the poll. So I ask you if you're planning to participate in the poll. We got 39 votes and basically 77% said yes, which is cool. 23% said no. Personally, if you have a high account, I don't see a single reason why not. I mean, maybe you already invested and you had a huge loss. Okay, I get that. Yeah, but then as said, if you buy another 100 high, which is $5, adding, you already invested $100, $200, $500. So adding $5 doesn't really make a huge difference, but it gets you 5 points and a chance to at least win something from the 20,000 high that are randomly distributed. So, and it would be a way to also average down. So I don't see why, if you already have a high account, why not to participate, to be honest. And if you don't have a high account, I actually don't see a reason why you shouldn't sign up this weekend. You would also have the chance to get the 1 point for passing your KYC verification. I mean, you can sign up today. The link for that is actually pinned in the chat, and you can then pass KYC on Sunday afternoon. You already get 1 point for that, and with some luck, you win a share of the 20,000 randomly distributed. Yeah, and if you then go for staking and other stuff, well, then you get more points and chance to win even more. Anyway, I'm gonna thank you all for tuning in today. It's, yeah, like I said, was a spontaneous stream. Don't forget, the next stream is on Tuesday. We're still voting on the topic. Right now, I think TimeStop is the most likely winner, but that can still change. You can find instructions on how the voting works and so on in the community tab of the channel. So if you want to influence what we cover next Tuesday in the live stream. And yeah, that's it. So see you all in one of my videos, or next Tuesday, hopefully in another interesting live stream. And with that, to all of you, have a great day or night, and yeah, see you soon. Till then, bye-bye.